Hello viewer, welcome to the channel. This is a Q&A video and I'll probably put it up as the channel trailer. I get a lot of the same comments asking things like, who are you? What the hell is your deal? So I just wanted to make a quick video just to answer some of these questions flat out. So if you've hopped onto the channel page, maybe thought about subbing but weren't really sure what the channel was about, this is a video for you. It's going to be rapid fire questions and answers. So first up, what inspired your art style and the way Candles looks? So if you're new to this channel, here's what you need to know. Candles is my avatar, the girl that you see on screen right now with the circle for a head. I've been drawing this avatar for about 5 years now, started during the summer of COVID 2020, and at the time of this video, it's been legitimately 5 years I've been working on her design. She's gone through many iterations in the past. Basically, Candles is just a mouthpiece for me, the person behind the character, and you should know that she was inspired by all of the artists I've seen and did see when I was scrolling through Instagram and Twitter and whatever when I was that age when I created Candles. So there's not one solid inspiration. I didn't wake up one day and just thought, I want an avatar that looks like this. I just started out with a design, kept improving my art style, learned from other PNG tubers, which is the term for YouTubers that use avatars, and this is what we ended up with. The reason her head is a circle is because I had trouble drawing the CalArt style heads, and I wanted my art style to evolve in a bit of a different direction. And it definitely takes some getting used to, but I think it looks pretty good. What's your thoughts on the whole shifting your YouTube to Candles? So this is in reference to my channel name used to being called Lavender Coffee. It was called that for years, and then long story short, I got doxxed, had to take everything down, move my old content onto my second channel called Candles, I don't remember the whole name, but it's like Candles Mental Health and Sex Education. I used to make sex education content, I still do, but it's on that second channel where I don't have to worry about monetization. This is my main channel where I make mainly mental health topics, or I make videos on mental health topics. I don't mind that I had to shift my name to Candles. A lot of people used to call me Lavender or just Mr. Coffee, which I think was pretty funny, but the intended name is Candles, and that's the name of my avatar. So to make things simpler, I just said, okay, the name is Candles now. That's the name. So I feel good about it, and I actually like the change. Hey Candles, what type of animal is your character? It's hard to figure it out if I'm being honest. I get this question probably more than any other besides, why are you a man? Are you a femboy? Etc. But no. Candles species? There is a Candles lore for my character and characters like her. She does use she, her pronouns, even though the person speaking in real life uses he, him. But I will say this. Stay tuned for the actual lore when it comes out. What you should know is Candles is not a single animal species. She's kind of her own species, if that makes sense. But she is an organic creature, which that is part of the lore. That's an important detail of the lore. More questions on Candles' backstory will be answered at a later time. Favorite movie? My favorite movie, personally, is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I know, most based opinion on the internet. It's kind of an underground movie. Maybe you haven't heard of it, it's kind of underrated. But canonically, Candles' favorite movie? Probably Donnie Darko. Also a fantastic film. Did a YouTuber get you into content creation? If so, who? I've kind of grew up watching YouTube in the old days. The good old days, you know, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye. PewDiePie, never really got into him until the whole T-Series thing. Kurzgesagt, I didn't say that right, but the science people, the German channel. I watched a lot of those YouTubers, kind of growing up into YouTube, and as a content creator. Saberspark, CellSpecs. I would say my biggest inspiration, if I had to pick a channel that inspired me the most, the style of my videos, probably Saberspark. I learned a lot about avatar creation and how to use an avatar from him. He's a great YouTuber. Also, Markiplier, I like his approach to making content and his philosophy behind not really going the traditional Hollywood route, not getting enveloped into drama, just kind of going your own way and making what you think is interesting, and having a good balance between what you like to do, what videos you like to create, and also what people like to watch. What's your favorite dinosaur? The Spinosaurus. goated. I know it's controversial because of JP3, but come on. This thing took down the T-Rex, and it just looks badass. Every scene it's in, it's so threatening, and as an animatronic, it is really impressive. Are you in school, or plan to be? If so, for what? I am currently, at the making of this video, a digital media major at a public college. I am a senior, so this is my last year. What inspired you to pursue content creation? Just watching a lot of YouTubers, and I've learned recently that I don't know, I've learned a lot about myself recently. Jacksepticeye put out a video semi-recently about him being officially diagnosed with autism. He's on the spectrum. And a lot of what he said in that video really resonated with me. Very specific things, like repeating certain phrases over and over in your head and getting stuck on certain loops, which might just be an OCD or an ADHD thing, but even more stuff than that. Stuff that I won't go into, but some of the things that he talked about and the experiences he shared, I felt like I really connected with. So all this is to say that I may be on the spectrum as well, something I've kind of maybe theorized about myself, and I know myself pretty well, and if I connected with his experiences that closely, then maybe I am on the spectrum a little bit. And that's relevant to the question because I think almost all YouTubers are kind of on the spectrum, at least a little bit, or they have some of those behavioral tendencies. To be a YouTuber and to really succeed in this job, I think it's almost a necessary step or an ingredient for the creator to be so self-driven and so focused on the grind and getting those specific video making processes right that maybe what inspired me to be a YouTuber is literally I developed those same kind of behavioral tendencies, and that's what is driving my content creation ambitions right now. But I assume you mean, like, what kind of things did you see to inspire you to make YouTube videos? And honestly, it just seemed really fun. I'd been drawing for a few years before then, and I wanted to translate my art style into videos. I knew that somebody could actually make a living off of it. Of course, that was very appealing to me at the time when I started. I was in high school. I really wanted to do that. 9-to-5 jobs really suck. Something about the way my brain works, they're extra draining for me, and it's so hard. Customer interaction in retail, I can't do it, man. Ugh. That's not an unpopular opinion. I know retail sucks. I made a whole video about it. But kind of what drives my content is I just make whatever I want to make, whatever I'm interested in, whatever I think will do well, and trying to not work a 9-to-5 job. It's kind of, it's not the most, wholesome answer, but that's kind of an answer, or a way you can interpret this question. Good question, though. What advice would you give to people who are starting their own video essayist channel? Honestly, dive right in. The most important thing when you're making a YouTube video is the audio first. Very first thing you gotta fix. Bad audio, 99% of viewers are gonna click off of it immediately, so you gotta fix that shit. But another thing you gotta focus on is really try to create very interesting topics. Some of my favorite video essayists are ones that don't have a completely overlying theme for all their video essays, but all their video essays are inherently interesting. Emperor Lemon, Solar Sands, they don't have one unifying kind of theme for all their video essays, but they just pick stories that are inherently engaging. And I think if you want to really become a popular video essayist YouTuber, you need to stand out by finding a topic that not a lot of people have covered in such detail before, maybe interesting historical topics or interesting philosophical debates, and just put a bunch of effort and time into one video. You'll learn a lot, and that'll really help you stand out. Eventually, you'll put out a video that does extremely well. So for video essayists, good audio first. Second is find the most interesting topic you can. How are you? I'm good, thank you. I appreciate you asking that. Are you open to doing collabs or guest appearances with other YouTubers? It kind of depends. I believe in collaboration on this platform, totally. But some creators get so big that it becomes like a don't meet your heroes kind of thing. I know that's kind of cynical, and I don't wake up every day believing that myself, but I'd rather collab with someone who was of a similar size channel than me, because they don't take it too seriously. Like if I collaborated with like a huge channel. I'm sure they have like an entire process and they take it very seriously because it's their income. I don't like to take things too seriously. So if I did collab, it would be a very loose collaboration, you know? Maybe if somebody invited me to just like kick the tires for an hour and just talk about random shit, then yeah, I'm totally down for that. But I do plan on doing more collabs in the future, as long as those collabs are very easygoing, you know, and just for fun. What are your opinions on NSFW art in general? Okay, NSFW art is something that somebody can be sucked into very easily, and I myself have been a victim of that. If you haven't been around this channel for a while, you may be surprised to hear me say things like, I developed a slight porn addiction when I was 11 years old. I've had trouble kicking this habit. I frequently, you know, watch this kind of stuff and have these sorts of habits just as a way to relieve stress. I am very open about these kinds of things. I am never afraid to bring up this topic or talk about it. So my opinions on NSFW art is, it really depends on who you are, how your brain works, because if you're someone who is really slipping into the habit of just drawing that and nothing else, then maybe you might want to talk to somebody. Some people really just draw it for fun and they don't really get off on it. I am not one of those people. So when I do go on NSFW art benders of my own, it can be a little destructive and time consuming and time wasting. I'll do a whole video on that on the second channel, but in general, I think it's something that you can do and have a healthy relationship with, but it's just very difficult to achieve that. But that's one of the goals of that channel, is to help people get to that point where it's not a self-destructive behavior. Jiggle physics when? Okay, I used to have this intro for candles right here. I got rid of it because I think YouTube really didn't like that, the jiggle physics on that. Plus, she's gone through a couple design changes, so it's not entirely accurate anymore. I might make another candles intro animation one day, but I probably will not include too much jiggle physics. That's not what we're doing here. What drove you to use candles as your avatar? What was your idea when first creating her? A lot of people assume that since I'm a man, I'm a straight guy, and I use a female presenting avatar, that I have some kind of gender dysphoria that is manifesting through candles. Maybe that's true, maybe it isn't. Maybe I just like to do it for fun. Maybe I like to draw myself as candles because it's like pretending to be another gender, but without all of the stuff that isn't so awesome, or stuff that I don't want. It's like pretending guilt-free, if that makes sense. But my idea behind using candles as an avatar is I do value internet privacy, and I didn't really want to show my face. Plus, I am not someone who looks good on camera or knows how to use cameras that well. I'd much rather just make a character and talk through them. Plus, it lets me do fun stuff, like putting different outfits on her for every video, things like that. When's the first live stream? We already did first live stream a long time ago, but I do plan on doing more live streams in the future. This channel is mostly video essay type uploads, but occasionally we'll do a live stream. Maybe I'll do one just for Patreon members. Yes, we do have a Patreon. How are you doing mentally? Mentally, I'm okay today, thank you. Yeah, today's okay. It's a bit rainy out. Tried to hang out with a friend, but plans kind of got shot down, so it's whatever. I like to think I'm pretty good at keeping myself motivated throughout the day, even if things aren't going super well. Could you do a video about birth control? I know you went over condoms, but I personally feel guys should know the options as well as side effects of the others. Yes, that is definitely a video that I want to do on my second channel. I still make sex ed content over there, just not as often because I can't really monetize it, you know? I'd still make it, don't get me wrong. I love making that kind of content, especially because I think it does genuinely help people. So I will write that idea down right now, and yeah, I'll definitely do something like that in the future. Jaden Smith asks, how do you feel about the current socioeconomic state of the modern world? It's not great. I don't know, I wish it was better. Do you have any future plans for Candles, the original character, that you're willing to share? I can't give away too much, but I am building out the Candles lore. It's gonna be really cool. It's adult-oriented completely. It's lore that's related to sex education, so it's not something I can develop on YouTube itself. I could maybe give out a few details on YouTube like I'm doing right now, and through hidden codes and videos and stuff, but if you want to see the main Candles lore in the future, that will probably be on Patreon or some other content hosting site that allows that kind of adult content. It will be for adults. Favorite video game you've played? Probably Portal. I love Portal and Half-Life. Ooh, Half-Life 2 is really good though. Yeah, something Portal or Half-Life related would be my favorite game. Shirtless episode when? Right now. Now that you've changed your main channel to more practical, actionable mental health videos, I'd like to ask, are you interested in covering topics that go beyond mental health into broader, more modern social issues? And if so, how frequently? Yes, I definitely would be totally down to do non-mental health related videos. My most popular video in recent weeks has been the erosion of teen culture. That one isn't even really mental health related, but it did really well, so I'd be down to doing more videos like that. I've recently gotten a few really good, strong ideas for videos that are more on the philosophy side of things. I can't wait to make those, and I'm gonna take extra time to let those bake in the oven because I think they're gonna be really powerful. What is the average size of an actual duck? It's about 5.5 inches long, 4.5 inches around. Who's Coretta? Coretta is another character, part of the Candles lore and backstory. No spoilers yet, but here is her official design. Do whatever you want with this information. If given the opportunity, would you like to live somewhere else? Yes, I'm actually going to move out of my apartment here soon. Just too expensive in these cities, you know? Kinda dumb, but what's your favorite chip flavor? I hate chips. Sorry to break it to you. I know that's probably not the answer you wanted to hear, but yeah, I really hate chips. I have overly sensitive teeth. Would you rather have unlimited bacon? Okay. Have you thought about adding any permanent accessories or designs to Candles, or are you quite happy with her current look? I'm really happy. We tried a hair buns redesign recently. Didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to, so I went back to the original ears. But I'm very happy with the way Candles looks right now. It takes a lot of effort to completely redesign her, so that's not something I want to do right now. But no, I like her design. This question basically boils down to, would you ever do like a VR VTuber model? Probably not, unless the technology really got there and I really learned how to make a good VTuber model myself. I'm someone who likes to completely design Candles myself, and it's all from me. The video is kind of a showing of my current art skills, you know, with the thumbnail and the character and everything. Sometimes I'll occasionally do art that isn't mine and I'll shout out somebody else. I'll let them take the reins, but unless I got really good at making a VTuber model, then probably not. Of all of the outfits you've made for Candles, which one was your favorite to design? There was one a long time ago I think I called Butter Pecan. It was like this golden apron with a white shirt underneath. I love that outfit. If I could choose any outfit I've ever created to be a default for Candles, it would probably be that one. What's your favorite ice cream? Probably cherry cordial is a really good one. I like that. What is your favorite cereal? Waffle Crisp is goated, and I will not accept any other opinions because they would be just incorrect. When you got doxxed, how did it feel, and what was your first action and reaction? Luckily for me, I had a lot of great Discord moderators and people I knew who were very good at dealing with this kind of situation. I had a lot of resources out there helping me through it, and I am eternally grateful to those people. My advice, if you ever get doxxed, is it seems serious now. The first week or so is the worst, but make sure you go into all your accounts. You've got multi-factor turned on for everything. Lock everything down, but after you do that, just wait for it to blow over. Thoughts on the furry community? Well, considering I kind of am one, technically, I think they're alright. Question: how am I supposed to react if your avatar was the first thing to give me gender envy? I don't know. I guess if I was able to start a conversation, then I think that's a good thing. How old are you? I am 22 currently. Pepsi or RC? I like Pepsi as much as the next guy. Coke Vanilla is really good too, though. RC Cola I've had one time, out of curiosity. It was interesting, but I wouldn't drink it more than once. Do you like coffee? I love coffee. I drink it every single day, and my favorite kind of coffee that I've ever had is probably iced coffee, and you put some vanilla syrup in it, and then you take a spoon, dip it into that marshmallow topping you can get for ice cream, get it in there, and then put the spoon in the espresso and swirl it around. That will make marshmallow flavored espresso. Put it into your iced coffee. It's fantastic. What is your favorite part about making YouTube videos? Community, views, expression? I like that. Equal parts, I like that I can make a living off of it potentially, and also I'm helping people. Those are the two biggest things. I love having a job where I can genuinely try and help people get through some emotional things that they might be going through. I think things like the sex education kind of world is very underserved. I think that there's a lot of things that YouTubers can do to actually improve the world, even going so far as to what YouTube really is, the power of a YouTuber is you are someone with a built-in community, and you don't understand how powerful that really is until you really take advantage of it. For example, if we wanted to fix minimum wage jobs, okay? I have a community of 80,000 people. I say to my community, hey, I'm looking for serious proposals to fix minimum wage jobs, how they're structured, everything. We get 80,000 people to submit their ideas. I work together with some actual economists and engineers, and we come up with real proposals, like actual typed up papers with cost and feasibility studies that we send to congressmen, to the big chains, and something like that could actually instill real change. That is what being a YouTuber can be. You can actually help the world in massive ways. You just have to have the drive to do it and learn, how can I help the world? Who are your favorite YouTubers? Probably Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, he's pretty cool. Wendigoon, Summoning Salt, YMS, love those guys. They make some of the best comfort content in existence. What software do you use to draw your character? I use a software called Autodesk Sketchbook Pro. I also use Adobe products to put my videos together, although I like to switch over to something else. Favorite video you've ever recorded? I'd say my favorite video is probably the South Park episode about dick size. Either that or the Big Dick Conspiracy. Those ones were extremely fun to make, and I think they turned out really well. They also performed extremely well. Have you considered getting someone to voice Candles? I've considered it. If I ever have any other characters show up or collabs, then yeah, I might make a new character or something. But when it comes to voicing Candles, I have to do it. First of all, I couldn't afford an actual voice actor. And second of all, I think the inherent questions that people always ask of what is this guy's deal? Why does he have a female furry avatar? I think it's an important thing. It's an important part of the channel, It's a cornerstone of what makes this channel's content so interesting, I think, because you're kind of following me on this journey of me discovering myself. And I think that's pretty cool. How did you come up with your YouTube persona over the years? Well, like I've mentioned before, Candles is just what is the conclusion of 5 years of just constant redesigns. If I thought something looked cute, I integrated it into her design. And this is what we ended up with. Maybe one day, after a few more redesigns, I will have drawn what is scientifically the most aesthetically pleasing character ever in existence. Maybe that's the direction of this channel. I don't know. Do you ever plan on making a video on your entire editing process or just video making process? Yes. I definitely want to do that eventually. My advice for any up-and-coming YouTubers is this. One of the most important things for yourself is figuring out how to make videos in a way that you don't get burnt out very easily. For example, the most boring part of any video for me is cutting the audio and putting little breaks in between the audio. It's very tedious, there's no creativity involved, and it can take an entire day's worth of work. It sucks. So, what I do is I'll do 10 minutes of voiceover, then I'll draw the outfit for that video. Then I'll do 10 more minutes, then I'll make the thumbnail. You have to balance it out and make sure the process is fun for you. Very important. Not to sound creepy, but how do you feel about Rule 34 of Candles? I know other creators are uncomfortable about corn of their characters. Here's the thing about Candle's Rule 34. I have seen it. I've seen pretty much every publicly posted Rule 34 candles out there, and I do not mind it. If you want to create NSFW of my avatar, go for it. Whatever. As I've tried to say before, me and Candles aren't really the same creature. I am not Candles. She is not me. She's just a character. When you have a YouTube channel and you have a female presenting avatar, it's inevitable that somebody creates Rule 34. It just is. I don't look like Candles, obviously. And I know other people approach that issue from a place like, no, I don't want you to do it. Which, totally fair. But as someone who doesn't really have a lot of those insecurities, and I have the luxury of not looking like my character, then I don't really care. NSFW art is a really interesting philosophical debate, and I think that entire genre of art is just so interesting that I would never restrict someone trying to make art of my character. That's kind of why I drew her the way I drew her, so that when people inevitably made Rule 34, it didn't affect me on a personal level. So yeah, I don't mind it. I'd rather you not tag me in it, but we actually have a channel on the Discord server. If you want to post it, you can post it there. NSFW art is still art at the end of the day, and I will treat it as such. What's your way to finding your own satisfaction in life? This is getting pretty philosophical, but the way I see it, if you're doing what you want to do in life, even if it's not the most financially stable thing, YouTube, for instance, is very financially unstable. The entire thing could fall apart. We could have another adpocalypse any day now, and I'd have to get a 9-to-5 job. If that happens, I'll deal with it when it happens. But if you want to be happy in life, if you have the choice of financial security or doing what you love, especially if you're a single person and you don't have like kids to feed, then by all means, do what you want to do. If I was given the choice of, financial freedom or doing what I love to do, I'm going to take the second thing. I'm going to take the latter any day of the week. Can I be the last question in the Q&A? Yes, you can. And that was all for the Q&A. This video turned out maybe a little bit messier than I wanted it to. Maybe I should have written a script, but whatever. We did what we did, and I'm glad I made this video. If you have any other questions, don't be afraid to ask me. I tried to answer as many as I could. So hopefully, if you're new to the channel and you've watched all the way through, hopefully you're interested in sticking around and maybe you'll subscribe. We have a Patreon where you can get bonus content, or you can just donate, support me financially if you'd want to. We have our second channel that is also linked in my channel bio, and we have a Discord server with an option to be in the general channels where everyone can see, or you can get into the verified channels, which means we know you're over 18 and you can get access to people that share NSFW fan art and things like that. So thank you everybody for watching. I love you all. Good night.